guys, it's Casey from Crystalline Designs. I am back with another tutorial using my Beebeecraft products. So Beebeecraft is a crafting website where you can find all manner of crafting items, including jewelry making, which is what I do. But they also have sewing, painting, diamond painting, drawing, knitting, just like anything you can possibly think of. So definitely go give their website a check out. They always have huge sales going on. This is the end of the year with Thanksgiving and Christmas and Black Friday, and so they're gonna have huge deals going on. I also have a coupon code for you guys. It is Crystalline10. I will put that on the screen above as well as in the description box below. Some of the items that I got this last time was this big container full of different gemstone beads in a 6mm. I really like those. I also got this spool of chain, which I thought was really pretty. It's stainless steel chain and supposedly like 90 feet. So that was really good as well. And then I got a deal of leather that I always seem to be misplacing. And so this is the roll of leather I got, and it's flat, and I think it's about 5mm across. But it's a really nice little roll of leather. So we're gonna make a bracelet to go with our choker, as well as a pair of earrings. I'm sorry, you guys. And so this is what the earrings will look like. If I can get it to stay still. That's what the earrings will look like. I'm sorry, I was off camera. And then we are going to make a bracelet that looks exactly the same, except it's going to have the beads going across the leather piece. So I combined two leather pieces and crimped them, only simply because when I put these ends on one piece of leather, it did not look right. So we are going to do that. I'm doing simple loops for these beads. And just using some stainless steel eye pins, and then on the earrings you'll need some ball head pins, and I think that's everything. So you're gonna need some findings. I'm gonna use some chain as well, the leather, of course, some crimp-ins, some beads of your choice. I am also using round nose pliers, flat nose pliers, another set of flat nose pliers. My skinny, these are technically crimpers, but I'm using them just for the skinny tip. And some cutters of your choice. And those are your tools that you will really need. You might also have another chain nose plier set to the side in case you need one. So I think that's everything. Let's go ahead and get into this and make this bracelet and earring set. So, like say, I was just putting these beads on a eye pin, a stainless steel eye pin that looks like that. And I like to use these little divots that you use for crimping to make sure my loops are closed, because it works. And then you just turn this at a 90-degree angle over the top as close as possible, which is why I like these little needle nose pliers. And then you cut off excess. You just gauge it to what you think you'll need. And then we're going to turn a loop to match the other side. So, just turning a loop. And my loop's trying to twist on me, but I'm not gonna let it. So just keep turning until you've got a loop. And actually, let me go a little more. It should look like this when you're done. If your ends are not facing the right direction that you want them to, you can just twist like that, and you've got another bead. Then I'm going to do another one, and I just like to make sure my loops are closed. Thread on a bead, and then do a simple loop. So as close as you can get to the bead over top, turning to a 90-degree angle, cutting off the excess. And then turning a loop. Okay, so I have another loop. And you can just adjust it as needed. And final bead for this one. I'm going to make sure my loop is closed on this other end. And then we are going to turn a loop as close to the bead as possible and cut off the excess and turn another loop. It's much easier to do this off camera than it is on camera. It's harder to see your project. Okay, just make sure your loops are going the right direction, or not right direction, that they're straight like that, and there we have it. So then we are just going to hook each one of these together. I'm going to hook a couple on camera, then I'll go off camera and hook the rest. So I'm just opening one and threading on another, just like that. Then I'll open the other end, thread on the next bead, just make sure you get your loops closed like you had them, and then open the other side. Oops, where's my, there. I like to use these little flat nose from Xuron because they're not as big as some flat nose are. They're pretty thin for a flat nose, but they still give you good grip on your loops. See if you'll notice that's all this flathead is, because I have another set here that's almost double its size. It looks like that. So I like my little Xuron pair just because they're like that. Okay, so I'm going to go off camera real quick. I'm going to hook the rest of this link together, this beaded chain, and I will be right back. Okay guys, I'm back. So I went ahead and did my beaded chain, and then I actually went ahead and cut some lengths of chain off of my roll of chain here. I did approximately 6.5 inches of chain with jump rings, and this chain is so small that you have to use the thinnest jump rings. So I have these are still stainless steel, but they're like 21 gauge or something like that. So they're super thin. So now that we've got this done, we're going to connect it onto here, and it's going to take a series of jump rings to do this. So first I have a big thick jump ring. I'm going to put it on my leather, just like that. Then I'm going to thread on the jump ring using one side of chain, and I have 3 pieces on each of these jump rings. Then I am going to thread on, before that. Okay, I remember I needed another jump ring to make these go the right direction. So I'm actually just going to close this jump ring up, and we're going to put on another jump ring. So I'm going to take one of these thin ones, or I think I'm going to, there we go. And I'm going to thread that onto this bigger jump ring here. Then, oops, or I'm going to drop it, one of the two. Okay, well, I'll just pick up another jump ring. I don't know where that, I have the dropsy hands. Come here, jump ring. Okay. Maybe I've got it now. So I'm going to thread this jump ring in through this jump ring, and then onto this jump ring, I am going to thread on all of my pieces. So I'm doing the one set of chain on one side, and then the whatchamacallits, the beads, the beaded chain on next, except that I just dropped it again. Sorry, you guys. I have dropsy hands today. Let me see if I can get a tighter grip on this. Okay. Now, maybe we'll succeed. Possibly. Okay. So thread on that, then thread on my chain. Then thread on my beaded chain. And finally, my last cluster of chain. So it's going to look just like this. Then I'm going to close up this jump ring. This is going to be a bit fiddly because you have a lot on this jump ring and it was small. But it can be done. Okay, and then technically it's all going to sit on the other side of this beaded leather. Or beaded leather. Of this leather. So it'll sit like this. Now, it's a little bit fiddly right now because we don't have the other end done, but we're going to do the same thing on the other end. So I'm going to take this larger jump ring and thicker one, thread it through the other end of my chain. Okay. Then we're going to get a smaller jump ring, which I can hopefully hold on to. And we're going to thread this on just like we did before. So I need to make sure my sets are sectioned right. And actually, I didn't even have this chain on the other side of a jump ring yet. So first I need to do that. So you're just going to follow your chain to the other end. And you're going to thread it onto your jump ring, one at a time. And you want to try and get these straight, and that is very hard to do. So I'm going to try and lay it as flat as I can. It is very, very hard to get on this jump ring because it's so small. Okay, I'm actually going to go off camera and get these on because it's taking too much. So, just know you're going to thread your jump ring into these chains, and they're so small, they're very, very hard to do, but it can be done. So give me just a second, I'll be right back. Okay, back again. So now that I've got the jump rings on the chain, we are going to follow it down to the other end and put another jump ring at this other end. So you need another small jump ring. And then this is the tricky part because you have to make sure that you get the chains and beads in the right order and not all tangled up like I have them. So somehow my other set of chain got in the middle of this chain. So it is a little tricky. Just a warning. So we are going to, I still have it tangled up somehow. There we go. I got the beads inside of it somehow. Okay, we are going to thread these on to our next jump ring. And I'm going to kind of section it out like this. If you guys can see that. So this chain I want to go on that side, and this chain I want to go on this side. And I'm actually just going to start with this side. Thread on my chain, making sure you keep a hold of that jump ring. Then thread on my beaded chain, and then my final section of chain. Okay, and we're left with something like that. We're going to pull it down to the other end and hook it to this bigger jump ring. Just like that. And then close up our smaller jump ring. And you should be left with something that looks like this. Now, these chains and beads are going to try and go in between your leather, and it's unavoidable, but it will look something like that. And this sets on top. So that is the premise of what I wanted it to look like. And then we're going to add a clasping on the ends here. So I have an even bigger jump ring that I'm going to add to this jump ring. And then add a clasp, which I have this big, large lobster that I decided on. Then we're just going to close it up, try and make sure it's really tight as you can get it. Oops, I was catching my leather. And then on the other side, we're going to put, I had one more out, although I think I am going to grab another one or two just to have some extension on this bracelet. And I might also do a small beaded bead. So let me grab another one of those bigger jump rings, or two actually, I decided two. Okay, and then we will bead a bead. We'll do a wrapped loop. So I'm going to grab a bald head pin. I had someone comment on that in the comments about it took her a minute to figure that out, and I'm like, that's totally something I would do. All right, so let me do this really quick. So we just went around, up and over. Then we are going to take our ends here and bead around the main wire. You can bead as long or as little as you want. I usually try to go 3 rotations. Sometimes I just finish it up if I know I have the room for it. Just kind of depends on your personal preference. You could even do a simple loop here if you prefer. If you don't like doing wire wrapped loops, then you could just do a simple loop and it would work out just fine. I just want to make sure there's no pokey bits on this bead, and then we've got a beaded bead. We're going to put that on here with our other two large jump rings. So put that on the first big jump ring and close it up. Put our next big jump ring on and close this one up as well. And we're also going to thread on that little beaded bead. The little charm I just made. Okay, and that is what it looks like. And then I will clasp it for you real quick. Like I say, that's part of what I liked about this leather, was that it was already tilted. And so it looked really pretty. So this, if you can get it to go on the front of it, because that is difficult. This should look something like that. So it's really pretty. Okay, now we're going to make a pair of earrings to match it. So I just made a simple beaded chain and put it on the front of that leather like that. And I thought it was really, really cute. And so we're going to put that together. So I cut me a couple of pieces of leather, and I believe they're about 1.5 to 2 inches. Yeah, it's like 3 millimeters less than 2 inches, but you could do them at any lengths that you want. That's just the approximate length I liked. Then I'm just going to set this on here in the center as much as I can and pinch it closed. And it will still move. So if you aren't exactly center and you want to be, it is possible to move it. And then I'm just going to pinch it closed. So there is that. We have a little piece of leather with a bracket. Now we're just going to make up our little beaded chain. I had simple loops on the top and a wire wrapped loop for the bottom, and it was a pink one on the bottom. So we'll go ahead and do that. So I just put my crimping pliers at the top, bend it at a 90-degree angle, and then I come in here with my round nose pliers into that curvature. Go up and over, rotate my pliers around, and continue on around with the excess piece. Then I change hands because I am right-handed, and then I'm just going to twirl this end around that center barrel here. And it looks like this one was trying to go over top. So I'll just pinch it down, and if that happens, that's all you need to do, just pinch it down. Now, if you can't get it unpinched, because I couldn't right there, usually I can, then you can just unravel a little bit, and it will go back to that section. And then you should be able to pinch it. There we go. Much better. And then just continue on going around the barrel of your bead, or your wire, not your bead, until you are satisfied with what you have. Now I am going to cut a little excess off here and just continue to push this on around. I just knew it was a little bit big. Okay, then since we've got that one, now we'll do our simple loop on this blue bead here. And like say, I like to make sure that my loops are closed using these crimping pliers, and then bend it over as close to the top as you possibly can. Cut off your excess, and then just roll a simple loop. So just rolling a simple loop here. And now it's just a matter of attaching that together. And so on this one, I will show you up close here that I did a larger jump ring and a smaller jump ring to make my ear wire go the right size. Then I did a jump ring from this larger jump ring to put my beaded chain on. So you'll need 3 total jump rings and an ear wire to complete this. So we're gonna put on the bigger jump ring first. And so I just started that on here, and you'll actually need to make sure that your little jump ring is already closed. Just don't drop it like I dropped mine. So I'm just going to, try to make sure that this one is closed. And then I'm going to thread it onto my bigger jump ring, just like that. Close this. Oh, don't close it up yet. Well, yes, we can close it up. If you do close it, you can use other jump rings to open. Okay, then I'm going to put on my ear wire here to this smaller jump ring at the top. Just make sure that it's facing the right direction so that your leather is facing the right direction. Okay, then we're going to hook these all together. So I need to hook one side to my green bead because I put my green bead in the center on the other one, and close that up. Then to the green bead I need to hook on my pink bead, which it can't be open, so this one has to open. Thread on that pink bead, close that up, put on my jump ring here at the top, and then make sure before you close it up that you hook it to this bigger jump ring on the leather, like that, and close it up just like that. And this is what you're left with. A really cute pair of earrings, and I think they'll go great with my choker necklace. So let me get some of this out of the way, and I will undo this, and we shall look at this together. Okay, so this is how the earrings will sit. I think they turned out really cute. I really like them. Okay, and then your bracelet, if you can get it to go right, will look like this. And like I say, your chain is gonna want to fly around, and that's okay. It's kind of a boho bracelet. So there is the bracelet, and that is everything I made for this time. So a little bit again about Beebeecraft. It's the crafting website. I have that coupon code for you guys. It is Crystalline10. They also have a YouTube program, which I am a member of, and it is, if you have 100 subscribers, you can apply to be a member of their YouTube program, and you can pick out $40 worth of products to showcase on your channel. And when you showcase that on your channel, you'll have to do an unboxing and a couple of tutorials to fulfill your obligations, and you can pick out the $40 worth of whatever. I choose beads because I'm a jewelry maker, but if you're a painter, then you can do painting stuff. So that is everything for this video, and we will see you guys later. Bye, guys!